Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Toxic Talks. I believe we're up to number 20 now. Holy moly, we're getting through them. But we got a lot to talk about today. So let's just start off with Throne and Liberty. Um, we are currently in the works of saving up a lot of materials and basically all that stuff for the next expansion. Still working a little bit on what is it? The resonance. We got I think 2 on our alt and 5 on our main, so we still got a little bit of work to do, but it should be done relatively quick. Saving up on Lucent, almost at 25k, which I think, honestly speaking, we should be there by today. Um, and oh boy, it's a lot of the same old, but we're getting there. We're doing what we can. Trying not to get burnt out, but we might get slightly burnt out by the time Nightreign comes out. But hopefully we can at least make it to there, and hopefully Nightreign can carry us over at least a little bit. But that's what happens when you put close to 2,000 hours in a game in like basically 8 months. But you know, we're doing what we can. We're still grinding out Throne, and we are enjoying it. We are enjoying it, but it is a lot of the same old, same old. In terms of Tarkov, though, as you guys can see right here, we are doing cultist farming recently. I've actually been enjoying the heck out of that, and apparently for I think until the release, they're doing an event every single weekend where a certain boss is a guaranteed spawn every single time. Apologies for that. I don't know why my mouse keeps aggroing the video, but we are cultist farming, and we do have the ability to get Rashala, the goons, and Parmigiano on here. But it is very, very nice. It feels rewarding, and we will actually, I think, try to do this. I don't see myself doing the Lightkeeper quest line um, until they fix it. They actually recently did, I think, in their most recent patch, did a fix for a lot of quests where you needed to get kills in certain areas, and you couldn't do that because all the mobs sort of spread out. And the one that was not on that list, they did like 12 different quests, but the one that was not on the list was the Lightkeeper one for getting PMC kills in that area. So hopefully they recognize that that is one of the most painful quests to do. Um, even if they did spawn there basically every time, it would still take quite a few hours to get through. But I'm basically just going to be playing it as Tarkov as if it was an event, and that's why I'm cultist farming, and it's actually been really, really fun and rewarding too. Gives me something to do, trying out new weapons, and seeing how it does. But that's basically what I've been doing. Don't plan on really doing too much in terms of uh, questing, but I will continue to go absolutely nuts for cultists. But as you guys can see, I just spotted the cultist in this video, so and a little surprise to me, Rashala is also in this raid that I was doing. It was a fun one, but a little bit of a crazy one. But in terms of Elden Ring, actually, I've been playing that quite a bit recently. I might end up playing that a little bit tonight. We are, I want to say we're done. There might be one, like, I forget what it's called, relic or whatever, that we might want to get in terms of the build for the Let Me Tank build, but I don't know if I necessarily want to do it, but I am leveling. We did end up doing Radon to just see what was possible, and we did him in 3 tries. The first try, I wanted to see the cutscene again. I haven't seen the cutscene um, in a while, so that one I didn't get to buff up or keep my buff, I should say. while doing it. So that was sort of a no-brainer. The second one, I kind of got a little screwed over by getting jumped. I didn't like this was like basically my first time testing out the let me tank build. And then the third time we got him, which was relatively easy. So that was nice. But we're holding off on the Elden Beast because I don't think the let me tank build, number one, will do too hot for that. I do need to see. I know that Elden Beast doesn't take bleed, but I am curious if he takes Scarlet Rot. I don't think he does, but if he does, I can still use the build. If not, then I'll just do it basically the way I've always done it and take him out. But we will continue to try to level up. We're almost, so we have 99 across the board for like FP, for stamina, for health, and we want to get 60 across the board for everything else. Um, but we're closing in, I think, on Arcane. I think we're 57 or something like that. And then we have basically 50 levels for int, so that might be a little bit, but one thing I was worried about was defense, because I am taking a ridiculous amount of damage even with the let me tank build. But one thing I did notice, and I don't know how I didn't notice this before, but when you upgrade something like int or arcane, it actually improves your defenses. So that sort of gives me, I don't want to say like a morale boost, but it gives me, it sort of gives me confidence that once I get int up, it'll make me take a lot less damage for future playthroughs. But um, we'll get there when we get there. I think maybe by the end of the week, we could theoretically be 99, 99, 99, and then 60 across the board, and then start. I think what I want to do is get dex and strength up to 99 as quickly as we possibly can, because most of the weapons that I use anyway is strength dex. So, but we'll see about that. Um, but that basically does it for Elden Ring. For other video game news, I've been watching a ton of Arc Raiders. Oh boy! So my friend actually recommended it to me. His name is Dirty Bird. He's also another content creator. If you guys do want to go check him out, very very cool dude. Actually recommended the game to me, and I saw like a trailer for it. I don't know if I was necessarily too impressed, but I was like, we'll keep watching. I'll give this a fair shake. And Landmark, Shroud, and a ton of different content creators have been playing the game that I've been keeping up with. And let's just say, I think it looks like an incredible game. I don't know if it'll be a long term kind of game for me. It might. It might. It does look at least relatively rewarding. Give me the nice happy feelings in my brain. But that's a game that I think I will definitely try out. I think in October, or no, what? Yeah, I think it's October. So basically, play Borderlands 4 for a little bit, and then switch right over to Arc Raiders and see how that goes. It's basically like if you take Once Human, like everything about Once Human, but you shove Tarkov into it. So two games that I've played in excess, I will say, and you just basically mash them together. So I mean, it's a game that I think I could definitely get behind, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. But another game that I've been watching that I don't know if I'll necessarily play, but I have been absolutely loving to see people play it. Is Expedition 33. I sort of call it, it's like a sport. You like to watch it, but you don't want to play it, kind of thing. Um, what a game! What a game! And people are saying that it's a possible game of the year, which is incredible. If anybody doesn't know, the developers of Expedition 33 are the same people that made the finals. It's, oh boy, it is a incredible incredible game. It's sort of like a turn-based RPG kind of thing. With how do I it's more turn-based combat, but then there's like open world exploration. I don't really know how to categorize it, if I'm being honest, but it's an incredible, incredible looking game. And I'm currently like the main person that I'm watching for it is Asmongold. Jev has been playing it, but he sort of, it seems like, has been cutting out a lot of like the in between of the games. So Asmongold has been basically putting up like hour and 50 to 3 hour forms of it, and I've just been eating it up during my free time. Like, oh boy, I've been enjoying it. And quite frankly, I definitely could see it being a game of the year contender for sure, for sure, for sure. And I mean, there could be other things that are released that put it to the test, but at least right now, it's looking like it's going to be the winner for game of the year. So if you guys haven't checked it out, I highly recommend you at least watch a video of it. I don't think it's necessarily a game for everyone. It's again, like I said, it's not a game for me, but I enjoy watching it like it's a movie. It's an incredible, incredible game. So check it out. But in terms of life now, as you guys know from last week's video, I'm I wouldn't say fresh into a breakup, but I wouldn't say I'm like that far into it. Uh, was it a week and a half ago by the recording of this video? Broke up with ToXc, 3 years, 3 months, and 3 days. Crazy enough. But I've actually had time to digest a lot of the different things that have gone on, and um, I wouldn't say I'm too upset or too saddened by what's happened. I have a lot of I guess sayings for something like this that I've actually talked to a lot of my viewers about. But I have learned quite a few things from this experience and going forward. And I guess I would love to share that with you guys because breakups happen. I don't think that they should happen, but they do. It does sting people a lot, and I want to give my 2 cents for anyone who has gone through, who will go through, or who is going through a breakup. Um, to basically give them how I've been able to get through it and what I'm doing to move forward. So, this is sort of what I've learned from this experience, and I will caveat a lot of these things, and you probably have seen quite a few of these on the internet, but you don't really get to how do I put it? You don't really get to enjoy how the severity of these different, I guess I would say, advices. But the first one is, if even if you give all your effort to the wrong person, it will not make a difference. It really won't. Um, I was talking to some new followers on Twitch. I think they came from my last video, in fact, my last ToXc Talks. And they were talking to me about the breakup, and basically I was telling them for 9 months I tried to work things out, and I tried to basically give my all. Not that I don't always give my all, but like I tried to find every single solution I possibly could to no avail. And it really does go without saying, if you give all your energy to the wrong person, it will not make a difference. There's nothing you can do for the wrong person that'll make them want to work it out, make them fix it, basically just allow the relationship to survive. So that's the first thing that I learned. It took me, I guess, a little bit to, I guess, come to that realization, but you know, it happens. It does indeed happen. Um, The next thing that I learned, and this is something that I did in this relationship, but I think going forward, I do not back down on this, but it's always better to stand up for your morals, even if it means breaking up. Um, we live in a world where, morality is a thing that basically people think can shift, and morals don't shift. I don't think we can look back at history and be like, oh well, it's okay because it happened then, kind of thing. I'm not going to bring up specific examples, but there's a big one that happened in the United States and the entire world. For those who don't know, it did happen across the world and is still happening today. But morality does not shift regardless of the time. And you know what? Neither should you. I stood up for what I truly believed in. And, it did end up in the relationship falling apart, but you know, I think that's the only thing that could have happened. Um if I sacrificed my morals and what I stand for, that's not a relationship I don't think I wanted to be in. So, um that's something I don't think I did in my first relationship, but that's something that I did learn from there, and I applied it to this one. And I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad about it. I stood up for what I thought was right. I still think is right, and I will probably always think is right. And yeah, it's unfortunate that it had to end this way, but you know, I'm glad I stuck to my guns. I am glad I stuck to my guns. Um, and finally, something that I've known for quite a bit, but it's sort of one of those things that it's a lot harder to do in practice, but you have to keep reminding yourself, just like I did. Um, but this goes for if you're trying to ask someone out, if you're breaking up, just anything in general. Um, don't feel bad for someone who doesn't love you. Why, like, if you're asking someone out and they humiliate you, or they say no, or they break up with you, why feel bad? Why feel bad? You know, you want someone to love you, and you like if they don't love you, it doesn't make sense to feel bad for them. So just like I say that for people like, "Oh, I'm scared to ask someone out." And I'm just like, "Why? Why? If they say no, congratulations, you saved yourself a lot of time." Um imagine if they strung you along, and you found out later that they didn't love you. They saved you a ton of time. And same thing for me. Imagine if this was 10, 15 years down the line, and we were married, and she's like, I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm not feeling this anymore. It's a time saver, and it leaves room for someone who would never ever give up on you, and they love you with their whole heart. um just imagine that. There is someone out there for every single person that will love you the way you love them. There is always someone out there who loves you, or who will love you the way you love them. And just because someone that you thought you might be able to love doesn't love you, don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. Now, uh piggybacking off of the lessons learned, um the next step is basically how you move forward from either a breakup or a rejection, or just anything along the lines of that in life. And um, the first, and I would say the best way, is most people, I will say that, and it's kind of a sad thing, but most people are in love with the schedule that they had, not the person. Get yourself a new schedule. This would basically cut the heartbreak by quite a margin, quite a margin. Um, People like I forget the saying exactly, but it's like you weren't in love with the person, you were in love with the something 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 based on schedule. But that's basically what I would go how I would go about it. That would be the first thing. If that doesn't get help you all the way, find something new that you like to do, or find something new that you haven't done in a while, that you love to do. Basically, find something to, I wouldn't say take your mind off of it, but to fill the gap that was once held by something you loved. For me, that's been calling my family. I didn't really do that quite a bit when I first moved. I did call, not like maybe like once or twice a week for a few minutes, but nothing crazy. But now I get to call my entire family and just be able to catch up with them, tell them about my day, tell them what I'm doing for the night. I'm also finally able to, I guess, have a breather. When I was uh, dating for the over 3 years, I didn't really have a breather for myself. I had maybe like 30, 45 minutes a day, but you know, that's not too much, especially when you're streaming 6 days a week and then making YouTube videos on the seventh. Not too much time. So I'm also making sure I try to relax as much as I possibly can. Um, it's it's very. I don't want to say it's like crazy, but you know, anyone can attest that when you work over 40 hours, I mean, even working 40 hours, people complain all the time about how tired they are and all that stuff. So imagine working basically 50 hours on just stream, and this doesn't include any of the behind the scenes or anything YouTube related. But just imagine, it does drain you. It does drain you. Um, and finally, I will say this: the last thing that you should do is envision a new future, a better future. Because, and this goes literally for everyone that's going through a breakup. I think the reason why people sort of hold on to their past life is because they saw a future that never came to be. They imagined like how amazing their future would be with said person, and now that's never going to be. Start envisioning a new future. It could be with uh, a no face individual that's going to be your life partner. It could be by yourself, but start envisioning a new future and a better one than number one that you envisioned with the person before, and the future that you are currently envisioning. It's basically like, oh, I'm in the dumps, I'm into this. No, envision a better future. For me, um, I, I would say this: my future doesn't really, my future hasn't really changed in a lot of ways. I still, for me, uh, want a family, want to be able to provide and protect for them, and want to do that. But my visions have changed. My ex, they wanted a library. That was something that I wanted to give extraordinarily badly. Um, for me, it was a gaming room. For her, it was going to be a library. I don't get to do that anymore. So that room now becomes something completely different in my head. Um, and this way, it allows me to still have goals, still be ambitious, still strive for the future while working for it in the present. And um, it allows me to be the best that I can possibly be every single day. Um, and you know, there really isn't much more you can do other than that. There really isn't. Um, we live in a world, and that world does have pain and suffering, unfortunately, but there are things we can do to get around it. But that is all I have for you guys in this Toxic Talks. Hopefully, some of these tips or lifestyle guidances um, can help you through whatever you're going through. I do have the caption, um, what is it, life advice for stream, and I really do mean that. Um, I try to give the best life advice I possibly can, and um, even if you are someone who knows quite a bit, you still go through the same things that everyone else goes through in life. It's just how it is. No one's exempt from from basically the everyday kind of life things. Like you think, oh, I'm gonna go through life without getting a ticket, and you turn 60, 70, and you get a ticket. And yes, and that's something that actually happened on a police show that I watched quite a bit ago. You don't get into like like you don't break a bone or something. People break bones all the time. You're more than likely gonna break a bone, whether it's earlier or later. But yeah, I just like helping people, and I'm going through something that breaks the soul and breaks the heart of people, and I just want to give the advice on how I've been able to get through it. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. But other than that, that is all I have for you guys. So I hope each and every one of you guys has a wonderful, wonderful day, and as always, take care, and I'll talk to you guys later.